As you can probably tell by the fact that I look dead inside and that I'm not in my usual room, I am in a hotel room in Hong Kong. Well, it's my parents' hotel room. They're out at the moment. I've just woken up from a long nap. I flew into Hong Kong at 4 o'clock in the morning. My parents were already in Hong Kong. That's why I'm crashing in the hotel room, because we're both getting the same flight back to Nanjing in the evening. There we go, you're all caught up. I thought, as I'm alone in a hotel room, why not discuss some of my top tips for plane travel, because content. I was lucky enough to have my flight to Hong Kong from Sydney be at night, so I boarded at about 10 p.m. and obviously went right through the night, got here very, very early in the morning. About a 9-10 hour flight, which was surprisingly easy, because for the first time in my life, I managed to sleep on the plane. Like, properly knocked out for 7 hours, woke up and breakfast was being served. It was really weird. I'm never able to sleep. I must have just been really exhausted. So my first bit of advice is purely to try, if you can, to book the evening flight, because if you make yourself stay up all day, you're going to be more likely to fall asleep and therefore time will pass faster. Economy seats are uncomfortable unless you can afford to go in business or first class or even premium economy. Try and get an evening flight. That's not always possible because it's often cheaper to get like a really ridiculously early in the morning flight, or it just doesn't work for the destination you're going or the connecting flight you want to get. But nighttime flights will help you sleep faster, and I think the biggest goal on planes for me is to pass the time as easily as possible, and honestly the easiest way to do that is to fall asleep, because then you wake up and magically sometimes hours have passed, sometimes it's just been 5 minutes and you sit there very miserably. Trust me, that is most of my flights. My second bit of advice is don't eat the peanuts on the flight unless you're prepared to drink a lot of water. I don't like the taste of water in the first place. I know I'm bizarre, but up in the air, I think it tastes worse. It's probably just me. It definitely is just me. So I'm not prone to drinking water. I'll drink apple juice or Sprite, which is all bad for you because the sugar's just gonna mess with your system. Bring your own water if you want to, that might help, but don't eat the peanuts unless you're really, really starving, and even then, hold off till meals come round, purely because it'll dry your mouth out, you'll get dehydrated, your skin gets worse on the flight, you can't sleep, everything just goes in a bad cycle. Stay hydrated on the flight. Establish which seat on the plane you're going to be more comfortable in. Are you a window seat, a middle seat, an aisle seat? What are you? Everyone generally has a preference. If you like sitting in the middle seat, what is wrong with you? My preference is the aisle, because as a 6-foot-tall woman, it's very hard to fit my legs in those seats. So having an aisle seat is really good to have your legs out. I have a firm rule, and I think it's because I've developed it over the years of purely being someone who is 6 foot tall. I like to check the person behind me, where their legs are in relation to my seat. If they are literally, like mine, touching or even bunched up against the next seat, I'll make a mental note that if I do want to recline, I'll recline this much, but otherwise I won't want to bother them. The seats are uncomfortable regardless of how reclined you are, in my opinion. And the worst thing is when the person in front of you just throws their chair back, pushing all caution to the wind. You can't change what people do, but if everyone kind of had the general rule of just double checking, reclining a seat a little bit, maybe not the full way, but I just think it makes the flight more enjoyable for everyone and you don't have an agitated seat partner. What else? If you're someone who gets worried by turbulence, my little trick is to look at the airline attendants, because their face will tell you whether or not you should be worried. And 99.9% of the time, they're looking relaxed. They're just putting the drink carts away, because you can immediately gauge what the situation is off of their face, I think. Or maybe I'm lulling myself into a false sense of security. I think that's about it for those tips, actually. I wanted to give tips that aren't commonly talked about. They are talked about. These are not special in any way, shape or form, but I'm not going to talk about jet lag and all that. That can be a different video. But these are just some little things that I find help during a flight. If you're worried, if you're uncomfortable, just general kind of rules that I live by, that maybe you want to adopt, that'd be cool. And last but not least, for any passengers who take their socks off during a flight, stop, please. I don't need to see your feet. Thanks. That has been VENATIN. I will see you very soon. Bye!